it's such a unique facility. I mean, it's so cool, just the way they've left it so raw, and yet so versatile that you can use so many different size rooms. It's yeah, I think it's really neat. I'm looking forward. I'm trying to put an event together right now where we're going to use the room off to the side over here where it holds like 150 people or something. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting people out here. I think just people need to see the place. I really love the facility. I love the look when you're pulling up here and everything else. It's just neat. I mean, you got the old rail cars and everything out here. They got the steel girders everywhere. I don't know, I think it's a neat atmosphere. I really like it. You guys fit in well here. My name is Michael Hecktus. I'm a entrepreneur. I've been self-employed for 29 years now. Came out of high school without a diploma. High school I loved high school, but it didn't build any creativity in me because it was so structured. Read this, do this, do this. So I left school after grade 12 without a final grade 12 diploma, but went into, worked at Seagram's Distillery when they were here in town in the manufacturing. And it's funny because when I was offered the job, I was offered the job to work in the factory with the union, and I said, no, I want to work in the office. And they flat out said, well, you don't even have a grade 12. How are you going to work in the office? I said, because I think you need me in the office. So I sold them on myself at an early age that they needed me more than I needed them. And you know, just my mindset that I had. And after they shut everything down, 10 years after, I actually started with the marketing company that used to sell promotional products and advertising products to Seagram's. Like I reached out to them and I said, we're shut down now. And I said, we've been buying stuff from you. I want to work for you guys. So at an early age, I mean, here I was late 20s and I was working for a marketing consulting company, and then I realized after only a few years with them that I could do this on my own. I mean, I didn't need them. I could do this on my own because I was passionate about what I did. So I started my own company. It's called The Jump Group. And been doing that for 29 years, helping companies, corporate companies, and every other people brand themselves with other brands, you know, to show who we are and things like that. So that's promotional marketing and advertising. So like I said, I've been doing that for 29 years. Absolutely love it. I've got great relationships with clients. It's really changed the industry and evolved, which I truly love. I mean, when it first started, it was belly to belly. I remember sitting down at the corporate offices and the boardrooms with their design team and their advertising team and their marketing team, and I would sit down and pull all the elements together. And we do that every week. Sit down, look at the analytics, you know, the printouts, because they were printing off. Now you can just go onto the computer and look it up. But we used to sit there every week. We'd gather in Toronto, and I'd do that with a number. I'd fly into Montreal once a week with Seagram's and sit down and discuss, you know, how their programs are going and are we getting the results we're looking for, you know, when they would launch a new brand like a Seagram's Coolers or something like that. So it was neat. But now, I mean, it's let's get together on a Zoom for a quick Zoom call because I got to head to this meeting. I'm thinking, wow, okay, what happened to this belly to belly, face to face, sitting down and really being creative? I mean, because when you get more minds together in one room, it's just like a battery. You put 12 batteries together and you hook us all up in the same room. The energy is incredible. Now you put us through a Zoom call and then everybody disappears like 20 minutes later and you're going, oh, you know, like what happened to the energy? Or you put us all together and it's crazy what can flow. So we've kind of lost that really powerful mastermind, as I call it, building a business, but which I love. What my gift is really to bring out creativity in people and also to bring people together. It's funny, people call me Hector the Connector because it's one of those things where I seem to know somebody because I've been doing it for so long in a field where I can bring different elements together and people together, and it's really a neat atmosphere. We did it the other night, sitting with a very good friend of mine who's into the fitness world, loves it, and a personal trainer, and somebody else who's into the mindset. You know, how we get our habitual thoughts drag us back into that dark hole again, and how we got to bring ourselves back up. And I can't do that. I can't accomplish that. And these fitness and nutritionalists were sitting there saying, yes, you can. And it was neat how I brought all these components. I said, yeah, they can work together, and how we came together. And now we're all of a sudden looking for a piece of property in here in town where we can bring all those components together and make it happen. I mean, it's really, my passion is bringing people together to feed off, because I truly believe that everybody has a gift. It's finding all those different gifts to bring together and having them work together, because people don't, I think people, they don't look far enough. And I'm one of those ones that people look at me and say, no, you're not serious. I say, yeah, that's the vision I have. How do you see that? And if it's crystal clear, I will make it happen. You know, it's just who I am. Nobody's going to stop me. We all have special gifts, and what we do is we always try to avoid what our weaknesses are, you know, and work just on our strengths. So I mean, it's one of those things again where I try to help people say, you know what, okay, if this is a weakness, then let's find somebody that can fill that void. And bring those people together, because I truly, again, believe that we all have this gift to be able to take things to the next level, but we get in our own way. People always get in their own way. They get in their way where they see it as a weakness, say, well, I can't do that, so they try to find another way. Well, don't try to find another way. Just allow, you know, as I always say, I just allow the universe to bring it towards me, and I put it out there. So I think the biggest thing is that most people try to do too much on their own, and they need to allow and share their ideas. A lot of people too, when they look at their ideas, go, oh, you know. Like I'm working on a project right now where I've told only a couple people because I need them to kind of help guide me and make me accountable for what I've put out there. And if anybody saw the vision that I have, they think, holy mackerel, there goes Hecktus again. But that's the way I was all the way through school. You know, I always had this creative thought about, you know, we can make this happen. And I won't stop until it does happen, or else I'm guided in another direction that is very similar to what I wanted. My real passion is the youth in our society. You know, from age 14 in high school right through till they're done university, helping them dig in and find that inner passion. And because it was one of the things that nobody listened to me going through high school. It was, like I said, it was one of those things where, you know, there goes Hecktus again, you know, and it was just one of those things where nobody sat down and said, well, let's try to do that. I mean, you can do that. Okay, how are you going to do it? And sat down and actually listened to what the creative thought was in my head. And I truly believe there's a lot of youth out there that, I mean, we look at now with how society has gone, millenniums and that, how many startup companies. I mean, back when I grew up, there was factories everywhere. I mean, if you didn't get a job in an office or as in a profession of any kind, you could work in a factory. I mean, you could work at Budd Automotive or Schneider's or any of those companies that were here in town. They're all gone. So it's really kind of neat how teenagers and that are starting to think more creatively as to what I want to do. And I think so many people say that, you know, these young kids are they seem like they're so deserving of everything, and I don't believe that. I just believe that what we need to do is sit and listen, because they really have something to tell us, and they really have some creative ideas in their heads that we really need to hear. Instead of saying, you know, why do you think you deserve all that? I mean, no, it's not that you're deserving it. I truly believe that you have so much to offer society. I mean, I'm excited about where the future looks, because we've got so many young kids that are fearless. You know, they don't have a fear of failing. We always feared of failing. I mean, our biggest thing is our parents said, get a job, buy a house, have some kids, work 9 to 5 or whatever it was, overtime, do your thing, then go home at the end of the day, and then you retire and you move on. No, I mean, I'm gonna be 60 next month, and I'm not even thinking about retirement. I mean, holy smokes. My biggest thing is that, you know, I'm gonna run out of time for all the things that I want to do yet. So as to get back again where you're going, what's on my mind, I really see there's some great potential for us to allow our youth in that to use their creative and allow them to be creative, allow them to let those juices flow and go. So I've got and again, in the same breath, there's so many things that we're stopping them. And I think this is why, and I know, thank God you can edit all this, because you can bring shit together on this one. But right now, there's such a strong message out there for mental health. I mean, there was never a strong issue. When I was growing up in high school, mental health was not something we talked about every day. I was just, you know, sure there was bullying going on and stuff like that, and social media has expanded that to some degree, I guess. You know, so it's really become something for me where I really want to be able to work with youth as well, saying, you know what, let's work on your mindset. Let's work on the strength of who you are internally and find that inner self. Don't let other people judge you. I mean, when I sat down, I think one of the things that really the aha moment for me is when we went to Fergus, to the high school, Wellington County High School. We had Michael Landsberg and Jennifer Hedger talk to these students, these 1,200 students, about mental health, because they've got an epidemic right now. Over 29 suicides in a year in that community, which is insane. So we sat down, but to hear and talk one-on-one with some of those students, and a student to say that she has these dark thoughts. Every day she gets up with no joy, and her 3 friends are standing there saying that they call her every day to make sure that she's okay and she's coming to school. and say, do your parents know? And they say, oh, my parents they don't normally think I'm just a teenager going through a stage. Holy smokes! I mean, what happened to listening? You know what? The old saying is when it's silent, it's time to listen. And I truly believe that our youth have something to say, and we just need to give them a platform to speak. So I'm looking actually right now, putting together a couple of events, open mic events, where we're going to have a panel of experts and some really smart kids that I've run into just recently through social media and through other friends. They're kids who have really got a voice, who have gone through some issues and have learned how to deal with these issues of bullying and different things like that, but they've learned how to deal with it. And they're saying, we need to make a platform. We need to be supportive of each other. If we can make this creative pool of positive teenagers that much greater, I mean, we can make the ground shake where all of a sudden the bullies become so minority that, now they want to be part of the cool kids, which is the positive influencers in our society. And I truly believe we can do that. So I'm looking to put some platforms together, some events together where we're going to bring those really cool teens together with some really good thought leaders, have an open mic conversation where they can talk and openly discuss and make it a Wi-Fi free, like get rid of the phones. You're gonna come in and we're just gonna talk. Nobody's gonna be there snapping pictures and videotaping their buddies what they're saying. Feel free to just openly talk. And I just truly believe, and this would be kind of a neat atmosphere too. It'd be cool to sit in this room with 20 kids and say, okay, let's throw shit against the wall and see what falls and see what stays, and let's work with what's staying there and build that. I mean, I truly want to see something like that happen. I mean, they always talk about it. People say to me, Mike, all the time, you got so many ideas. I mean, what's your legacy? And I truly believe that a legacy isn't something you leave behind. It's something that you leave in someone. And my legacy is to leave in everybody that you can make a difference, even if it's one person. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, if you walk away and know that you made a difference in one person's life, and they come up and just say thank you, I mean, that was the turning edge. I mean, the number of people that I run into now, and they'll tell me a bit about their story, and then the more we get to know each other, all of a sudden the wall comes down, and it is so freaking crazy when you hear the wall that's been holding them back. To sit with somebody and say, I didn't tell you this, but twice I've had the belt around my neck because I felt it was time to go. I had nowhere to go. It was dark, and you're thinking, wow. I mean, 2 weeks ago when we met, and a couple coffees later, I was feeling this good vibration, but I had no idea that, that's what you were going through. And they thank you for just listening, and you're thinking, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. And that's all they want, is want somebody to listen. You've seen my Extraordinary Life Live. It's a show that I put together, an open platform on social media where it's crazy how many people walk away and say, I can't believe what I just said. Openly discussed. I've never been able to tell that story. And it's just because we sat down and felt comfortable. And as soon as the cameras start rolling, like right now the cameras are rolling, you forget they're rolling because it's a great conversation. And I just, like I say, communication is huge. I mean, we got to get off, social media is great to a point because it's going to start the conversation, but then it's sitting down and actually talking to people. We need to spend more time with each other, in the presence with each other, talking. And again, we talk about different events. Here's another event where I'm putting together for this summer, where it's, we're going to be sitting outside without any electronics whatsoever and openly discuss just the things that we love to do and the things that are on our mind. Breaking bread with one another, pouring a glass of wine, and open conversation. I mean, those are great things. We've failed to stop doing those things. There's so much power in breaking bread and sitting down at the table. We've talked about that with Chef D, because I really want Chef D to be part of this whole thing as well, is sitting down and just at the table, breaking bread and talking. And it's crazy how many things can come from just sitting down and talking. We just don't talk. Text. If you look back at TV advertising, newspaper advertising, print advertising, and everything else, and again, I come from the world of promotional advertising. Putting a product in somebody's hand with their logo on it. I still believe it's the most powerful advertising there is. And companies leave it to the last minute, especially corporations. I mean, first thing they look at is, how can I put something on TV or print advertising or put a flyer in their hand and stuff like that. Media has become that was always that powerful tool, but it's even something as simple as putting something, people love getting stuff. People truly love to get a gift. I mean, it's one of those things, even when you go to a golf tournament, as much as you open up that grab bag at the golf tournament, there's a lot of crap in there, but you love to open it up. It's like Christmas, you open it, what the hell's in there? And some of the stuff you're gonna keep forever. 70% of promotional products, the stuff you get with a logo on, ends up in the kitchen because it ends up in the junk drawer. It could be a flashlight, it could be a pen, it could be a multi-tool, it could be a screwdriver, it could be a tape measure, it could be a first aid kit. It ends up in the kitchen. So you're gonna see it every day when you open a drawer. So there's your message again in somebody's face. So advertising, I think social media has taken it to another level altogether. Like it's always, every time you go onto a site now, as soon as you watch something, Google Analytics says, oh, he loves this, and he keeps firing it at you. I mean, it's so you're seeing that all the time, but now you're getting annoyed. I don't want to see it anymore. Where I always make sure that, with my promotional advertising, which like I say, I'm so fond of that industry and I will always be part of it. People love that. What you think? Right now, we just started one of the lines that I work with. We actually do some fabulous drinkware pieces, really great drinkware pieces, and everybody got a drinkware piece. I mean, if you're not walking around with a Starbucks or a Swell in your hand or whatever else, I mean, people go, oh, you're not cool. Well, now we've come up with a really cool drinkware piece that's the same as a Starbucks piece. It just doesn't say Starbucks. But what we got is you put company name on one side, and then you put their company name in Braille on the other side. People go, why would you want to put their company name in Braille? I mean, how many blind people are you giving this to? No, it just shows that they're socially aware as to what's going on out there. We are a socially aware company as to where society is going. We've put Braille on our drinkware pieces or on something that we've given out. Advertising's so evolved. I mean, my wife still sits down every Thursday and flips through those flyers that come through that land on our front frickin' driveway. She flips through those every frickin' Thursday. But she loves that. So don't stop that, because she does it and it's effective and it works. What works for me and has been very successful for me is I'll even reach out to my clients and say, can you set aside a half an hour, or let's grab a half an hour, just grab a coffee. I want to sit down and just openly chat. I got a couple things I want to bounce off you. I think we just need to take more time to step away from our office, from our computer, and just take even 20 minutes or half an hour. It's surprising, and I always tell people, have you got 10 minutes to sit down and have a coffee? I want to bounce something off you. And it's crazy when I say, but honest, I said, make sure you leave an hour open, because I know this is going to go further. I got a meeting today with a guy that wants to sit down and talk about mental health for a magazine. They want me to do an article on mental health and where we're going. And he said, I said, where do you want to meet? I said, you want me to come to your office? He says, no, I want to be in an environment where we can just openly talk and feel free to talk and not be disturbed. I said, all right, meet you at my house. We'll sit in my sunroom from 12 to whatever time it takes. But it's amazing when you actually say, let's take some time and just step away from your busy life. Your life's not that busy. You make it busy and you let other people make your life busy. If you're in control of your own life, you can say, no, I'm going for a coffee. I just need to unwind for a minute. And just pop in on somebody with a coffee sometime. If they say I don't have time right now, I say, really? What do you have to do right now that you can't stop and have a coffee with me? Pop in and surprise somebody sometime. It's pretty cool. They really will appreciate it.